Today is Wednesday, March the 16th, 2022. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Madera City Council and special meeting of the Madera City Council as the groundwater sustainability agency. I hereby call to order. The council chambers will be open to the public. The meeting will also be available for public viewing and participation through Zoom. Members of the public may also observe the live streamed meeting on the city's website at www.madeira.gov/live. Members of the public may comment on agenda items at the meeting or remotely through an electronic meeting via phone by dialing 669-900-6833. Enter ID 898-0363-8602 hashtag. Comments will also be accepted via email at citycouncilpubliccomments@madeira.gov or by regular mail at 205 West 4th Street, Madeira, California 93637. Alicia, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Garcia?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Evans?
Here.
Councilmember Gallegos?
Here.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Here.
Councilmember Montes?
Here.
Councilmember Mejia?
Here.
And Councilmember Villegas?
I'm here.
Thank you. Would you all please rise for the invocation led by Mayor Pro Tem Anita Evans?
Blessings each and every one of you. Today is March the 16th, 3:16, King James Version. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, that whoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Please bow. Father God in heaven, thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for bringing each and every one of us here safely, Father. Bringing us here, Father, to be able to sit and to witness the things of our city. Father, we call upon you now, Father God, to touch each and every heart that's here, to remove self out of the way, Father God, and to allow you to come into this room, to grace us, Father, with your presence. You are the first and the last, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Father God, we love you and we worship you. We ask you cover each and every one of us with the blood of your son, Jesus Christ, giving us a hedge of protection around us, Father, removing any destruction in our way, protecting our city, our council, our mayor, and all those that are here. Father, we thank you. We give you all the honor, the glory, and the praise. In your son's precious name, Father, we pray. Christ Jesus, amen.
Thank you. We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Anthony Forster.
Put your hands on your hearts. Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We will now move on to approval of the agenda. Are there any corrections or additions to the agenda from my colleagues? Hearing none, seeing none. We'll accept the motion.
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
There's two competing seconds. Who do I have?
Councilwoman Gallegos.
Thank you. Motion to approve the agenda by Councilmember Montes, second by Councilmember Gallegos. Alicia, would you call the roll?
Councilmember Gallegos?
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Montes?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Evans?
Yes.
Councilmember Mejia?
Yes.
Councilmember Villegas?
Yes.
And Mayor Garcia?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We will now move on to public comment. The first 15 minutes of the meeting are reserved for members of the public to address the council on items which are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the council. Speakers shall be limited to 3 minutes. Speakers will be asked but are not required to identify themselves and state the subject of their comments. If the subject is an item on the agenda, the mayor has the option of asking the speaker to hold the comment until that item is called. Comments on items listed as a public hearing on the agenda should be held until the hearing is opened. The council is prohibited by law from taking any action on matters discussed that are not on the agenda, and no adverse conclusion should be drawn if the council does not respond to public comment at this time. Alicia, do we have any public comment?
Mayor, I have not received any written public comment. Is there anyone in the chambers wishing to speak?
There does not appear anyone to be in the chambers willing that would like to speak on public comment.
Thank you, Arnoldo. We will now move on to, there are no written communications. We have several presentations tonight. The first on deck is a presentation by the Department of Public Health. I believe, Ms. Voss, you are on deck.
Good evening, glad to be with you. A very short report this evening. Our case rate is down 50% from last week and stands at 11.3 per 100,000. Our positivity rate is down about the same, 5.7%. Tests are still fairly high, which is good. It means that our data is more accurate when the testing is at a higher volume at 507 tests per day. Vaccinations are slowly creeping up as we continue to vaccinate folks. And just a couple things to keep your eye on. We have another Omicron variant that we're watching in other countries. And there's a real variety of kind of experiences that different countries are seeing with this same variant. And it's kind of introducing what appears to be a new kind of season of COVID, where how one variant performs in one country is very different from another based on their vaccination rate, based on immunity from past surges, et cetera. And so we, having just completed a surge with an Omicron variant, many people, if they had not been vaccinated, were exposed through that process as well as previous surges. And so we're very hopeful that we will not see a surge from this variant, but we're watching it closely. Others might have seen in the news that the Pfizer shot appears to be less effective with ages 5 to 11 than with older kids, but it still does prevent severe infection in children. And that's really the most important function of the vaccine, is to really prevent severe illness. So those are all the updates that I have this evening. Any questions for me?
I don't believe we have any from my colleague. Do we have any public? Thank you very much, Ms. Voss, as always. Thank you very much for coming.
Have a great evening.
Have a great evening.
Cheers.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem Evans, if you could approach the podium. We will now go on to the presentation for the Madeira Evening Lions.
Mr. Mayor, I'm here at the podium.
Thank you. And could you introduce any evening lines that are going to be accepting the presentation?
The first group will be the Lions Club Centennial Celebration. Would you please come?
Do we have members there present that you can introduce?
Yes, we do. There's a
Bring them up to the podium with you, please.
Let's come to the podium. Mr.
We
Mayor,
have
there
a
are
Breakfast Lions with Waylon Wright. We have Madeira Evening Lions President Matt Stickler. We have Lion Wally Nishimoto, Lion Kathy Nishimoto, and Lion Tyson Poe, and Lion Raul Lozano.
Thank you.
Please come.
Oh, and Lion CC.
CC Gallegos too. All righty. This is a proclamation from the Office of the Mayor, City of Madeira, State of California, March 2022. Proclamation, Lions Club Centennial Celebration. Whereas the Madeira Lions is a member of the Lions Club International, the world's largest server club organization with 1.4 million members in 46,000 clubs in more than 200 countries and geographical areas. And whereas the Lions Clubs International was founded in 1917 and is celebrating 100 years of humanitarian service. And whereas the Madeira Lions, established in 1922, is comprised of volunteers who dedicate their time to the betterment of our community and aiding those in need. And whereas the Madera Lions Club is participating in Running with the Lions on April 2nd, 2022, as part of the Lions Club International Centennial Celebration. And now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Santos Garcia, Mayor of the City of Madera, and on behalf of the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim the 16th day of March as Lions Club's International Centennial Celebration Day, signed the 16th day of March 2022. Would the first speaker come on board and get up to the podium, please?
Okay, President.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
And I would like to present this to you on behalf of the City Council and the Mayor. The Mayor's Office of.
Could you please step up to the mic?
As I stepped away, I'm presenting this to Mr. Stickler.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct. Office of the Mayor, Lions Club Centennial Celebration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words? You don't have to, but if you'd like to, you certainly can.
Any of you like to speak, Sheriff? Okay, Wally.
Mr. Pogue, would you like to say a few words?
No, here he is, Mr. Mayor.
On the behalf of the Lions Clubs of Madeira, the Breakfast Lions Club and the Madeira Evening Lions Club, we'd like to thank Mr. Mayor and the Honorable Council for honoring us today. And it's remarkable that the Lions Club International was first created or chartered in the United States in 1917, and then it came to Madeira 5 years later in 1922. And it bodes well of the commitment to service of all the past citizens of Madeira. We thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Will you like to step to the front? So that you can- Sir?
It's going. Congratulations. Take a picture. There.
Thank you so very much.
Mayor Pro Tem Evans, if you could step up to the podium with the American Red Cross.
Yes, sir, I'm here. They're sitting down now as we speak. So American Red Cross, please. May I please have those that are here? They are coming, sir.
All righty,
They were on the other side, she said.
that's fine.
All right. Step up, Mr. Mayor.
All righty. Welcome. I'm going to present this proclamation from the Office of the Mayor, City of Madera, State of California, March 2022. This is a proclamation honoring the American Red Cross Month. Whereas in the times of crisis, people in the city of Madeira come together to care for one another, this humanitarian spirit is part of the foundation of our community and is exemplified by the American Red Cross volunteers and donors. Excuse me. Whereas in 1881, Clara Barton founded the American Red Cross, turning her steadfast dedication for helping others into a bold mission of preventing and alleviating people's suffering. Today, more than 140 years later, we honor the kindness and generosity of Red Cross volunteers here in the city of Madeira. And whereas we dedicate this month of March to all those who continue to advance the noble legacy of American Red Cross founder Clara Barton, who lived by her words, you must never think of anything except the need and how to meet it. We ask others to join in this commitment to give back to our community. And now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Santos Garcia, Mayor of the City of Madeira, and on behalf of the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of March as Red Cross Month. We encourage all citizens and residents of the City of Madeira to reach out and to support its humanitarian mission. Signed this 16th day of March 2022, Santos Garcia, Mayor. Congratulations.
There you go. Would you like to speak? Mr. Mayor, they're here. Your name?
So if they want to, anyone want to make a comment?
Are you going to? Yes.
So I'm not as shy as everybody from the Lions Club. Of course, my job requires me to do this. I am the executive director for the Central Valley chapter of the American Red Cross, and I have with me one of our amazing Madeira volunteers, Felix, and my daughter, and I'm going to say the cutest Red Cross volunteer you're ever going to come across, Lauren, with me. I just want to take a moment and say thank you so much for recognizing the work of the Red Cross. I can't take credit. It really is due to people like Felix. He's the one that gets up at 2 o'clock in the morning when there's a home fire. He's the one that responds when we have a fire in our backyard, like we did with the creek fire. He's the one that does all of that. I do this. He responds and is there firsthand. So it really is a recognition, not of me, the staff, but of the work of the volunteers. 90% of the work of the Red Cross is volunteers. It's our fundamental principle. And it's been that way for 140 plus years, and we don't, whenever we have a decision that we have to make at the Red Cross, we always go to our fundamental principles, and if it doesn't pass those tests, then we don't do it. And so therefore we are so thankful for people like Felix and other volunteers here that make it happen. So thank you for recognizing all that they do.
Thank you. And I also want to recognize Felix, because he and I worked together in the post office for many years. I've known him for many years. I know he's a dedicated individual.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, the council will be taking pictures with them.
That's fine.
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem, if you could please have the Madeira Tribune staff.
Yes, may I have the Madeira Tribune staff? Oh, Tyler says they're not here, sir.
Oh, they're on Zoom?
House, sir, you have a full house.
Hey, make sure she comes up too.
Wendy?
No.
Give your camera, I can do it.
Give the camera to somebody, Wendy.
Councilwoman Gallego said that she could do it.
There you go. There you go. We have a volunteer. Great.
Anyone else, please? No one else? All right, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the Madera Tribune. This is the City of Madeira Mayor's Certificate presented to the Madera Tribune in recognition of all those who have and continue to chronicle the daily news of Madeira since March 31st, 1892. Congratulations on your 130th year anniversary. Presented the 16th day of March, 2022 by Santos Garcia, Mayor of the City of Madeira.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Does anybody would like to say a few words?
I would like to say a few words. This is Councilmember Mejia. I just want to say thank you for being here. I'm very happy to see my colleagues here, and thank you for everything you did to teach me when I was there, and it was an honor to work alongside you.
Is there any current staff? Tyler, you're never at a loss for words.
I got beat out.
My name is Nancy Simpson. I'm the business manager and CFO of the Madera Tribune. And as most everyone knows, we've had some struggles here in the last couple of years. Chuck Dowd, who was our fearless leader, editor and publisher of the Madera Tribune for many years, passed away at the beginning of last year. So we have an awesome staff that just picked up and carried on the Madera Tribune. And we appreciate the support of the community, because without the community, we wouldn't exist. So thank you, everyone who supports the Madera Tribune. We love you.
Yes.
Well, I guess for those that know, being in front of a mic is kind of rare, right? But anyway, I'd like to say thank you to Santos and thank you to the City Council and everything for that they do for the city. We're here to kind of highlight the good things in Madeira and what Madeira represents, and I think Madeira represents everything good, and that's what we're trying to do at the Tribune, is to highlight the good things. You know, the next door neighbor that did well in baseball, or the Lions having their run in a couple of weeks. We're highlighting that. That's what we're here. We're here to highlight the good things of Madeira and be local. So we're 100% local. So support us. We support you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Whoever's could you close your mic?
Could you close your mic?
Thank you.
Oh, it's Tammy. I think it was Tammy.
Wendy's not used to being on that side of the camera. All right, Mayor Pro Tem is DJ Becker.
Again, sir. And may I have DJ Becker, please? All righty, sir. She's right here.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. This is from the City of Madeira. This is a mayor's certificate. This mayor's certificate is being presented to DJ Becker in recognition of your many years as an investigative journalist for the Madera Tribune and this community. Presented this 16th day of March, 2022, Santos Garcia, Mayor of the City of Madera.
Thank you.
DJ, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. It's nice to be back in these chambers after a couple of rough years, and there's just such a big absence where Chuck used to sit. It's just touching, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
This concludes ours, and we have Councilwoman Gallegos.
Good evening, everyone. I have to say, it is awesome to see this chamber full. It's been probably a whole 2 years since we've seen this many people in the chamber. So thank you all for coming and spending a few minutes of your time with us tonight. I would like to have my colleagues please give me a few minutes of our time as council members. This is something that's dear to my heart that I've been trying to do for several years. Just haven't had it up and running. With COVID, I was running strong and then that hit, and I really feel that people should be here to receive this. I'd like to thank all the community for giving me nominations. I am going to be presenting District 1 Woman of the Year, and I'm hoping next year there'll be 7 that will represent each of one of our districts here next year. So I'm just starting it off, trying to get this in kind of our routine and part of our mentoring of our young people to see that we have strong women out there that are doing a lot in our community. So Women's History Month is a dedication month to reflect on often overlooked contributions of women in the United States history and for our own community. Rosa Parks quotes, "One person can change the world." And I truly believe that. And it doesn't have to just be a woman. It can be a man too. It can be a child. We've seen some of our kids do amazing things in the city. I have 5 recipients tonight. I chose 5 because I've been on council 5 years. It'll be 6 in November. And I've been wanting to do this every year since I've been there. So I'm going to call up these 5 recipients, and they're going to get to stand here and look at all your beautiful faces like I am looking. The first one, and I'm going to say a little bit about each of them. And I mean, I could talk probably an hour on each of them, but I know our time is limited and people have things to do. So I'm just going to give you just a little snapshot of some of the things that they have done in our community. The first one will be Candy Talley. Come on up. So let me tell you a little bit about Candy, and she's the first one, so she's gonna have to stand here through all the other ones. She's a true Madeiran, and she takes pride in building long-term relationships in the city with our community members. Candy is on my CDBG commission, and for 8 years, she's been doing this endlessly without pay. So volunteer, thank you so much. She's also been on our planning commission. She's a 32-year veteran educator and retired principal of Madeira Unified. She is one of the top realtors in the city of Madeira. And she's always helping our residents make sure they have some place to call home. And that to me is so important because right now, house prices are skyrocketing, but Madeira is growing and we got a lot more homes coming in. So we're going to keep her busy to keep people in these homes coming. I've taught her grandchildren and have heard how she's the coolest grandmother there is. And she also sits on the Madera County Cemetery Board, a member of Madeira Rotary, the PEO, and a member of the County Master Gardens. She has her family here. She has her sons, her daughter-in-laws, and her grandchildren. Can you all stand up if you're in the Talley family? Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. The second nominee for Woman
Excuse
of
me,
the Year, District 1.
Councilwoman Gallegos?
Yes.
We do have a public hearing starting at 7. If
Yes,
you
I'll
could
be
do
done
us a
by then.
favor, and if you could bring them all up now at the same time, and then give for each one of them whatever it is that you want
Yeah,
to speak. And
I'll be done by 7. Thank you, Mayor.
no,
The next recipient is Annette Kwok. Come on up, Annette. Annette Kwok was born and raised in Madera, California, and she's married to Gary Kwok and raised 3 beautiful daughters that I think are all in the audience today. She has volunteered her time with our community in our solid waste division, which is not the sexiest thing in the world that anybody wants to talk about. And she's implemented great programs like the Blue Can Project, Residential Sharpen Collection, and she's engaged our community in our schools to now recycle their waste. She has been just a powerhouse in the community, dressing up as Elsa at fall festivals to make kids excited about recycling. She served on the Chamber of Congress for 5 years. She's a member of the Young Ladies Institute and Latina Unidas. During this time, she's been an active parent with her kids and her grandkids. For decades, Annette has served selflessly, giving to her community. It's an honor to serve the public, she says, and her dedication. So thank you, Annette, for all that you've done. The next Woman of the Year, District 1, is Debbie Beret from the Chamber of Congress. I have to tell you, it was really hard to get them here. I had to give them different reasons why they were coming tonight. So all of us know Debbie because she is out there advocating for all our businesses to make sure that we know that they're here in the city of Madeira, and she does it eloquently. She works with me with Salute to Education, where we are saluting all our teachers of the year, our business supporters, and our friends of education. And I've been doing that with her for at least 8 years. I know she's been doing it longer than me. 36. Thank you, Debbie. It's on my notes. Debbie has the positive attitude every time, even when times are getting tough. And she has really been our rock for this COVID that's gone on with the small businesses that really have been struggling. So Debbie, I thank you for being the rock for them. She's a graduate at Madeira High School. She has two children, daughter Marissa, who lives in Madeira, and son Clint, who resides in Lyon, France. Beret is a proud grandmother of Sawyer, who's in the audience, and Briar, who's 9, who's also in the audience, and her daughter Marissa and her husband. Could you please stand if you're the Beret family? Oh, Dad, thank you. If you could please stand. And I forgot to have the Kwok family stand too. So let's have the Beret family stand first. Thank you. And can I have the Kwok family stand for me, please? And the reason I want everybody to see their families and friends is because these women couldn't do their job without their support of their family and friends. It takes away from you to have them do things for the community. So I thank each and every one of you for allowing them to do that. Our next recipient is Christina Richey. Now, Christina is a fellow colleague. She worked with me at John Adams, but now she's taking the capacity of being a vice principal at Pershing Elementary School. And there she has been totally a rock star by implementing great programs with her daughters that are stuffing bags for her. And the kids are so excited. That school has had a little bit of a struggle, but with her, I'm just hearing great things. Those kids are students that are in a low economic area. And when Christina decided to become a teacher, it was to help students like her father, who is also in the audience, who worked in the fields and learned English as a cornerstone to America, to becoming somewhat of a mission statement for his family. Her mother also worked with me at John Adams as our librarian. So the family's, rock star educators, such as her husband, Tim Richey. Her 2 kids are here, and her son, James. Her son is autistic, and it's helped her give a set of skills to help those kids that are disadvantaged. And it also has helped her to advocate for those special needs children. So I would like to thank her for being a part of that community and also pushing our young children to be more active in their ministry and to have a vision of helping them to reach their full potential. So if the Richey family could please stand up. Thank you. And my last recipient probably knows who she is because she's like thinking she was going to come for Relay for Life to give you information. Just like Debbie here did a speech, she brought gifts for us. So our next recipient is Charlotte Brewer. And we all know her from Relay for Life in Madeira. She has created a team effort after retiring from AFWA school. Again, another educator for 34 years. That must have been the magic number. So it looks like I've got a few more years to go. Oh, 35. Thank you. She's been doing Relay for Life for 15 years now, and she encourages community to get out and really represent and help support a mission of cancer that is helping a lot of young people and older generations go through struggles in their life. And Relay for Life is money that's used for research that's well needed. So every dollar that she's gotten people to rally up to get out there on Relay for Life, we thank her for that. Her friends tell me, and this was part of their statement, is that she's best described as a kind, caring, helpful, loving, and an awesome sense of humor. And she just works hard. I know she is the jewel of her life is her grandson, Zayden, who I teach, who loves his grandmother and talks about her all the time. Her favorite thing is to take him to Disneyland and go there. And I'm a Disney lover too, so I was glad to hear that. And she's extra special in a way that she'll always help out if any friend, family, or even strangers need help. She'll be there for them. So these are my 5 wonderful women that totally are deserving of this award for all that they do for the residents in the city of Madeira. And like a quote said by Candy Talley, little girls with dreams become women with visions that have made great impact on all of us here. And I could go on and on and on and tell you more impacts that they have made, not only with the city, I know they've made it with their children and their grandchildren and the lives of their friends. So I appreciate everyone taking their time to come out tonight. I've talked fast, Mayor, I'm rolling. And so I thank you for your time, for being here. And women, you are awesome. You rock. And I'm so glad you represent District 1 and the way you do. And we'll do it again next year with another recipient. So if you're out there, work hard. Here we go. Thank you.
Congratulations.
You can like, I'm gonna go outside while you guys continue because I think it's
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, they're clearing the room.
Thank you. Hilda, should I call a recess?
I know, huh?
I'd like to have everybody back in council chamber so we can continue, please.
May we have order, please? May we have order, please?
I need a quorum to continue, unfortunately.
Can we close the back door, please?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Do we have a quorum?
Well,
Do now.
we do now.
All right. We don't have any introductions. I'm reintroducing the meeting. We have no workshops. We will now move on to the consent calendar. Matters listed under the consent calendar are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion and one vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, a member of the public or a member of the council may request an item be removed from the consent calendar and it will be considered separately. Are there any changes or additions to the consent calendar by my colleagues?
Seeing none, Mayor.
Seeing none, hearing none, waiting for a motion from my colleagues.
Move to approve the consent calendar as presented. Second.
Motion to approve the consent calendar by Councilmember Rodriguez, second by Councilmember Villegas. Alicia, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Gallegos, absent.
Outside.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilmember Montes,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Evans,
Yes.
Councilmember Mejia,
Yes.
Councilmember Villegas,
Yes.
and Mayor Garcia.
Yes.
Motion passes with 6 yes votes and Councilmember Gallegos absent for this item.
Thank you very much, Alicia. We have a public hearing at 7 p.m. It's not 7 p.m. yet, so we will be skipping item C1 under public hearings until 7 o'clock. We will now move on to petitions. Item D, petitions, bids, resolutions, ordinances, and agreements. Remote City Council meetings under Brown Act requirements, Assembly Bill 361. I believe, Mr. Rodriguez, you have this, Arnoldo?
Yes, I sure do, Mayor. Thank you very much. Arnoldo Rodriguez, City Manager. Simply for the record, the item before you this evening is in accordance to Assembly Bill 361. As council may recall, Governor Newsom adopted or approved Assembly Bill 361 in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. With that, councils or commissions do have the luxury of continuing to suspend certain requirements of the Brown Act, which would allow the council to continue to meet via Zoom or meet in person. The Assembly Bill does indicate that the council has to re-adopt a local resolution every 30 days in order to continue suspending those certain requirements of the Brown Act. Council this evening has two options. Well, you probably have more than two options, but one of the two options would be to not approve the resolution in the packet. If council does not approve the resolution in the packet, council would have to all meet in person. Council would have the option to meet to potentially meet remotely under the strict guidelines of under the Brown Act. One of those being that if a council member could not be present in the council chambers, they would have to notify the city clerk 72 hours prior to the meeting, and their position or their location would be posted along with the agenda, and wherever that council member is meeting from would have to be accessible to the public. That's one option, again, and that would be the option of not adopting the resolution this evening. If council so chooses to adopt the resolution, it would continue the practice that we're currently engaged in right now, which would allow the council members to either meet remotely or to meet in the council chambers at their discretion. Again, this item it's at the discretion of the city council. The governor's office does allow for it. And the last time council discussed this item was the second meeting in February. So with that being said, Mayor, I'll turn it back over to the council. Thank you.
Alicia, do we have any public comment on this item?
We do not, Mayor. No public comment at this time.
And no one on Zoom.
Thank you very much, Mark. Colleagues, do you have any comments or is anyone waiting to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
So I did have some comments.
Could you speak into the mic, Councilmember Rodriguez?
Has raised his hand.
Excuse me?
Councilmember Rodriguez has his hand raised.
Yeah, no, I just said speak into the mic, Mr. Rodriguez. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I know the item before us will either have us through the standard practice that we've done prior to COVID. I still think that having that flexibility is always a good option. There are times where council members and/or board commissioners cannot meet in person for reasons that would jeopardize their health. I do feel that we act responsibly here at the council as well when we feel that we are good to come in council chambers, and we've done that. So I have no disagreement with moving on with Assembly Bill 361 for another 30 days. If any of my colleagues see it otherwise, then this would be the time to speak on it. But I would certainly move on adopting the resolution reauthorizing remote teleconference and public meetings. And that would be D12.
Councilmember Montes?
Yeah, so I mean, we got some pretty good news today from Sarah. It looks like we're not completely out of the woods yet. I mean, you saw what the council chambers look like today. It was people want to come out and do stuff. I think it makes it a little bit easier when we are all here.
Mr. Montes, could you speak into the mic, please?
It makes it a little easier when we are all here. And we got some good news from Sarah today from the Department of Public Health. Our test rates remain high and our positivity rates are a lot lower. It does make it a little easier when we are all here, just to have a more smooth meeting. And you can see that the community does want to come out and participate. I think that's, as elected officials, we kind of put ourselves in a situation where people want to engage with us. There are a lot of people that, for my district especially, that can't access through Zoom. And when they do, again, it just makes it a little bit easier when we're all here. It makes it a little smoother. We all have to log on, make sure your mic's not on, raise your hand on the device. And I know even in the chambers, we've had council members that have had trouble with that. So I would not be in favor of moving forward with this. I think that, we can come back. And those are my comments.
Thank you very much. I would respectfully disagree. My interest is to protect the workers in the hospitals whose hospital beds are still full, to protect the workers at City Hall, to protect the boards and commissioners. If they choose to meet in person, they can. If they choose to participate remotely, we also want to encourage that. So with that, I would say that I would be in favor of this, the Mayor Pro Tem's motion to continue meeting by Zoom. Is there a second to Mayor Pro Tem's motion?
Mr. Mayor, I just want to be clear. The motion was just to approve, but it didn't quite specify what option. So I thought I made a motion, but if Mayor Pro Tem
I'll second your motion then.
And the motion is again, Mr. Rodriguez?
My motion was to continue with the resolution reauthorizing remote teleconference public meetings by the city council and all boards, commissions, and standing committees of the city in accordance with Assembly Bill 361 for a period of 30 days.
Thank you for that. I don't see any more hands raised. There's a motion by Councilmember Rodriguez to continue under the provisions of the bill. Second by Council Mayor Pro Tem Evans. Alicia, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Gallegos? Absent. Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Montes?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Evans?
Yes.
Councilmember Mejia?
Yes.
Councilmember Villegas?
Yes.
And Mayor Garcia.
Yes.
Motion passes with 5 yes votes, 1 no vote by Councilmember Montes, and Councilmember Gallegos being absent for this item.
Thank you very much. We will now move on to administrative reports. We have a cannabis update. I believe, Mr. Rodriguez, you have this item. Now, I will let you know that it is now 6:51, and we will start the public presentation at 7 o'clock. So just to let you know, brother, but you can continue.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I will be extremely brief. This is simply to provide council with an update. As council is aware, council previously took action to approve the application process, which included numerous resolutions and ordinances pertaining to cannabis. Those are currently in effect. Staff was initially prepared to surface the application process earlier this year. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we hit some very unfortunate roadblocks, and that caused us to hit the pause button. And that was largely due to the lack of staff to properly or timely respond to potential applicants. With that being said, we feel we're in a better position today than we were a month ago. That's not to say we're in a great position though. However, in speaking with HDL and our team, we feel quite confident that we can surface the application process in the first part of April. And that was as of a couple of hours ago. So my ask of the community is whoever would be interested is to send me an email. We do have a listserv. The application process will be posted on our website, and every person that's emailed the city is going to receive the same information at the same exact time via email. We do have a listserv. There's a lot of people on the listserv, and my goal is to be very transparent, but to make sure everyone gets the information at the same exact time. That concludes my presentation this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Alicia, are there any members of the public wishing to ask any questions of Mr. Rodriguez?
Mayor, I have not received any written public comment. We do not have any attendees on Zoom. Is there anyone in the council chambers wishing to speak?
There appears to be one person with his hand raised. 4 people.
Yeah, have them step up to the podium one at a time, please.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. Again, Rico Saldivar, Mainstream Madeira. I was just wanting to once again bring up the possibility of there being any information brought up with the points that are supposed to be available to local applicants. And being that we're applying at our building that we're going to be putting the application is at 300 East Yosemite. To our knowledge, that is a parking district of downtown. And I was just wanting to get information as to if there's going to be any type of exemptions or like just something different for our parking situation. We do have plenty of parking. There's just, with it being in the downtown district, there's nothing that we could technically designate as Mainstream's parking, but it's all public parking. So we just want to see if any information like that will be available to us soon. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is George Jorge de Leja. I am a Madeira resident, born native here from Madeira, local businessman. And I'm also part of Mainstream Madeira. I came today to bring to the forefront the process of allocating points to local Madeirans in the process of the cannabis application process. We do know that those points are allocated in other counties, specifically to empower local people from the area. Did want to bring that up. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon or good evening, council members. My name is Roman Gonzalez, a local business owner here in Madera, California. And again, I just want to address how this holdup here for this cannabis permit is holding us back. Us local business people downtown, especially with any type of new industry coming in, that's going to be great, just like the cannabis industry, from bringing money to the downtown area. I have done research on my own, and there's other small counties, cities in the surrounding area that they're already on their second round of contracted cannabis permits. And they've already accomplished the same route that Madeira is facing nowadays to pass this application process. My question to the city manager is, when will the workshop happen, so we could go ahead and expect these businesses to start operating in the city of Madeira? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Councilman. My name is Carl Klaus. I'm a Madera citizen since 2001, and I had some questions as myself, a local business owner of Bellasoft CBD, a local hemp topical pain rub business. And I had some questions in regard to the application process for Measure R. How would hemp businesses be involved in this cannabis licensing licensing process and such like that? And where would our place be in this whole zoning matter? Where would hemp businesses be able to operate in such matter in this new regulations that are coming into place in the city? I am based in the county, but I will be operating in the city. So I do have some questions in regarding for certain matters like that. Thank you.
Hilda, we're getting close to the 7 o'clock hour. I would like to suspend this portion of the meeting and then go on to the public hearing part. So then I know that there might be more public members wanting to discuss, as well as my colleagues.
Mayor,
So is it all right to stop this part and then begin the next part? Or do I have to actually wait till 7 p.m.?
It is okay to do either, but right now I don't see anybody else in the public wishing to speak. And I don't know if there's any members of the council. I think that you can proceed, and unless it starts getting like really 7:05 or something, then you can suspend it at that time. But I think you can probably conclude this item.
Okay. Mr. Rodriguez, it is 6:58. Do you have something short and sweet, or?
I do. I don't know.
Okay, go ahead.
Short. Thank you. Arnoldo, I appreciate the comments by the folks that came up, but I would like our city manager to take task and maybe addressing some of those questions. If not today, maybe gather some information from these folks and make sure that we address those questions. I think that's been a lot of folks with applications are antsy about when this is going to happen. I think Arnoldo has a set of emails, and he will blast some information as time goes by, but I think it'd be appropriate for us to at least give these folks some timelines of what they can do. If not today, maybe privately you can call them and let them know that this is the process that's happening. And as you continue to bring us updates, then you guys will also be aware of what's taking place with the cannabis applications. But thank you so much for your comments.
Absolutely, Councilmember Rodriguez. I will be very brief. The workshop will be approximately 2 weeks after the date when we open up the application. So if we open it up in the first part of April, I would say the middle part of April will be the workshop. The application process will be open. The window will be open for 60 days. So that's 2 months. It's going to be open. If there's any questions, a lot of this information is spelled out within the resolutions in the ordinance. It's very detailed. As council recalls, there's a lot of pages there. It's very dense. It's not a light reading, I'll admit. If you'd like to fall asleep, you can pick up that document and it'll definitely put you to sleep. Thank
you very much, Mr. Rodriguez. We will follow up if need be. We can continue this item after the public hearing if need be. It is now 7 p.m. We will begin the, let me find that. Public hearing on redistricting regarding City Council district boundary adjustments, redistricting and introduction of ordinance adjusting district boundaries. This report, I believe, Alicia, you have this item?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, and this evening we have Joanna Jin with BB&K who will be giving us an update and more information regarding the introduction of this ordinance.
Thank you.
Joanna?
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. The city is required to redraw council district boundaries every 10 years and is currently going through the redistricting process to redraw district boundaries based on the 2020 census data. The council has held the 4 required public hearings as well as 2 public workshops in accordance with the California Fair Maps Act. At the March 2nd public hearing, council selected a preferred map. That map option 5, was posted online for more than 7 days prior to tonight's hearing. The deadline for the city to approve a final map is April 17th. And before you tonight is the introduction of an ordinance adopting map option 5 as a final map of the new council districts. If approved by council at the April 6th regular council meeting, that would meet the April 17th deadline. The final map attached to the draft ordinance is compliant with the Federal Voting Rights Act and the California Fair Maps Act. The city has a total population of 66,627 with an ideal population of 11,105 for each of the 6 districts. The map is population balanced and has a total deviation of 2.85% and a deviation of 1.57% or less for each of the 6 districts, which is acceptable because it is less than the 10% in accordance with Supreme Court rulings. The map preserves the core of existing districts and resembles the current districts, particularly with regards to districts 1, 2, 4, and 6. The districts are compact and contiguous. All 6 districts are majority minority districts, and the final map was submitted by a member of the public. The recommendation for council would be to conduct a public hearing on the final map and the proposed ordinance, and to waive first reading and introduce an ordinance amending section 2-1.21 of chapter 1 of title 2 of the Madera Municipal Code regarding by-district elections, adjusting the boundaries of city council election districts, and confirming such revised council boundaries. I would like to thank council staff and the public for all their time, efforts, comments, and coordination throughout the process. It has been a pleasure. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jin. Alicia, are there any members of the public wanting to discuss this item?
Let me check my email here, Mayor. We do not have any written public comment, and we do not have anyone in the audience wishing to speak on Zoom.
And Mark, I'm thinking there's nobody on Zoom either?
Correct.
Thank you very much. I will now close public comment, and I will bring it back to my.
Excuse me, Mayor, we don't know if anybody in the audience that's present may want to speak. They have not been asked. You asked for Zoom and.
Is there anybody in the public who would like to approach the mic and ask a question on this item? I don't see anybody approaching the mic. Therefore, we will close public comment and bring it back to my colleagues for any comments or questions. I do not see any hands raised. Seeing none, hearing none, I will ask for a motion from my colleagues.
Move to approve item C1.
Second.
Motion to approve item C1 by Councilmember Rodriguez, seconded by Councilwoman Gallegos. Alicia, would you call the roll, please?
Let me modify my motion, please. Mr. Mayor, I move to approve item C11 and C112.
Councilwoman Gallegos, would you like to second that one?
I shall. Second.
Thank you very much. Alicia, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Gallegos,
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilmember Montes,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Evans,
Yes.
Councilmember Mejia,
Yes.
Councilmember Villegas,
Yes.
and Mayor Garcia.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously with 7 yes votes, 0 no. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. That was an easy one.
I left
Ms.
you guys
Jin.
hanging. My bad.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Ms. Jin, thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you for all the work that you've done. I believe we can close out this item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Have a good evening.
Adios.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joanna.
All righty, moving right along. So we'll now close this item and move on to item F, council member reports, announcements, future agenda items. This portion of the meeting is reserved for the mayor and council members to make brief reports on boards, committees, and other public agencies and at public events, to request updates, to initiate future agenda items, and to take action on matters initiated under this section of the agenda. Under this section of the agenda, the council may take action only on items specifically agendized and which meet other requirements for action. Councilmember Gallegos.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to give a shout out to City of Madeira's team for the 5K second win. We had Eric Battles that took second overall, but first in his age group. We had Keith Helmworks take second place in his age group. We'd like to thank Wendy Silva, Kaylee Silva, Kyle, Arturo Romero, Rosa Hernandez, Gino Cheramonte, thank you, and Councilman Montez and I. The cool thing is the City of Madeira's team, we placed third throughout all the teams. So I think those people who medaled kind of took us over the edge. So thank you for those. I'd also like to thank, shout out for Spam Construction, King, for the new Industrial Freedom Park sign that was put up. It's beautiful. If you have a chance, drive by there. And each council member has some invitations that they received. You have them to send out to family members for the ribbon cutting on March 30th for the Fire Station 58. The invites have been sent out to all the community members, organizations, churches, and some of the main electeds that we have in our city and the officials as Costa and Caballero and Bigelow. So these invitations that you have in your hands are for those other ones that we might have missed. If you're not sure, if we double back, you can always ask Alicia for the list that we did send out. Hope to see everyone in the audience on March 30th at the new fire station. It's going to be a great day. It's the People Station, and we like to thank everybody that comes out there because Measure K is the reason we have that station after 40 years. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I just want to report back on March 3rd and 4th. Members of the Madera County Transportation Commission met up at the Tulare Agri Center where we held the State Route 99 Summit. That included myself, Supervisor Frazier, and Supervisor Poitras, alongside our Executive Director, Patricia Taylor, again advocating for the finish the line or finish the 99. State Route 99 is 274 miles, of which certain sectors of our Central Valley have yet to be completed as it was proposed in a business plan years back or decades back. So yours truly, alongside Supervisor Poitras and Frazier, advocated for us to continue to finish the line. We do have sectors that still require an additional lane on Avenue 12 to 7, both south and north. There's also lanes in Merced County. and Tulare County. And together we've been working in a united voice to try to make sure that State Route 99 is completed. That'll report on that. But again, know that we're doing all we can to make sure that we get that. About a year ago, we met here in Rotary Park where we were able to ribbon cut the widening of 99, and that was that additional lane from Avenue 17 to 12. And if you guys drive through the 99, then you guys can see how it relieves congestion. A lot of folks don't know that there's about over 500,000 metric tons of product that goes through us here in Madeira. I want to say that number is now bigger. These are some of the numbers that were presented at the summit, but a lot of that is freight, and Central Valley produces a lot of that. We are one of the biggest agri industries in the world. And so a lot of that does come through Madeira, and not allowing, as Supervisor Porteous would say, you know, in a certain years back, maybe 30, 40 years back, Madeira probably had a population, or I take that back, California had a population of 16 million. Now that's kind of tripled, and we still have a 2-lane here coming through Madeira. So obviously that affects us here as a community because of the quality of air as well. When you have more congestion idling in our community here, then obviously that's not good for us. As it is, Madeira takes a big burden on that as well, because we are a Central Valley, and that doesn't always help with the health issues that we have here in air quality. On that, another note, we are continuously meeting with our 4th of July event. The Greater Madeira Kiwanis, alongside the City of Madeira, County of Madeira, the Rotarians, and the Evening Lions have really come together to try to put this event. I'm happy to report that since our last meeting, we've had several sponsors now that donated a little bit above $10,000. So we're looking good. We hope to see that more donations come in, but we will keep you apprised also with the updated budget that we have. We're seeking a budget of $75,000. Again, we're bringing the event to the Madeira District Fair in collaboration with the agencies that I mentioned earlier. We hope to have a really big event. I'm not sure if our city manager or chief of police would like to speak on that, but certainly we look to make this happen for our community, and we hope to see all of you there. And again, this is on the 4th of July, which is a Monday. If you'd like to partake on the golf tournament that we also, the City of Madeira will organize, and that would be a great event to have. It's good to have it back. I mean, we've been out of the 4th of July event for over 3 years, and I think the community really needs something like this. So I look forward to that. And again, my colleagues, I look forward to seeing you all there and your families. So thank you. Those are my comments, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rodriguez. Councilmember Montes.
Yeah, I'd like to thank our staff and the community for coming out and showing support. We had a call, CPUC call, where we spoke about some of the rate increases, or we voiced our opinion and some of the issues that we are having with PD, and with PG&E, not PD. Sorry, Chief. But I want to thank the community. A lot of people came out and spoke on that. I know that's not that it was during the day, and just, supported the community. Also want to let everybody know, as on Cap MC, we do have the Walk a Mile in Her Shoes event. I believe it's on the 23rd. I had it all queued up, and as soon as I start talking, it goes away. So April 23rd, and that's hosted by Cap MC. So I'd like to see everybody out there again, walking in their high heels. And this time it is you, Chief. You went out there last time with me, so we haven't had it for a couple of years. We also have the Esperanza Village ribbon cutting. That's going to be on the 22nd at 3:30. That's at 125 North C Street. That's a pretty good downtown project in conjunction with some private partners, our housing authority in the City of Madeira. And then also, I do want to give a shout out to staff. We got notification that we received a grant for about $832,000 to clean up the trail. I mean, that's pretty huge. I know I get a lot of calls and complaints about, some of the issues that we're having out there. So thank you to staff for being proactive about that. And that's going to go a long way in making our community a little more beautiful. So those are my comments.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Evans.
Yes, thank you so very much, Mayor. Thank you to my colleagues and everyone here. It was really great to see everyone here in the diocese today. I'd like to piggyback off of Councilmember Montes about the 832,000. Today, when I went home, the river bottom is my backyard, and it was so nice to see. I was kind of upset, but it was very nice to see the cleanup that is going on right now in the river bottom. They were taking some things down and moving some things around. So that's great to know, great to see. And also, I participated yesterday, and I will be there again tomorrow at Madeira South, where they're having community connections. And what they're doing is enlightening young women. This is Women History Month. And they had a number of individuals to come from the community to sit with the young ladies and to just be able to talk to them and just to see how they feel about growing up in the city of Madeira as young women. So it was very enlightening. They had a dynamite speaker, Dr. Oju, which is on Almond. His wife was the speaker yesterday, and tomorrow it will be Alicia Brown, and she's also a history teacher at Madeira South. So they will be speaking once again on Women's History Month. And I saw Council Member Mejia in a picture with Alicia Brown at the art festival. So that was great. Also, this past Friday, I participated at James Monroe Elementary. They had an art contest, and there were 4 of us individuals from the city to go out and to select from kinder, or what is it called? TK? Is that what it's called? TK, from TK to the 6th grade. So we selected 15 art pieces, and they will be taken over to the county superintendent's office, and it will be into a big city event, a big city art festival. So it was really quite enlightening to see the beautiful things that our young people can do and that they did do. So if you get a chance, go to the festival and take a look around. But anyway, I thank each and every one of you for being here. God bless each and every one of you, and please go home safely. And I pass the baton.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Mejia.
Good evening. First, I would like to say Happy Women's History Month again, and I would like to commend my colleague, Councilmember Gallegos, for recognizing the women in our community that are giving so much of their time and their work, and for also challenging us to do it. I hope to do it next year. Also, my colleague, Mayor Pro Tem Evans, for taking on this role of serving our community, as well as Councilmember Gallegos. I would like to announce that the Madera Coalition for Community Justice is hosting an event on March 25th, a health fair. They're still looking for community partners. They have until March 23rd to sign up to be a part of this. They will be doing vaccinations, COVID-19 tests. And if any community partners are interested, they should contact Monica de Horta at 661-1879. Again, the deadline for that is March 23rd, and I will be repeating my comments in Spanish for the benefit of monolingual Spanish speakers present. Primero que nada, quería reconocer a mi colega, la concejal Gallegos, por el esfuerzo que se tomó para reconocer a las personas en nuestra comunidad, las mujeres que están haciendo tanto en este mes de Historia de la Mujer. También a mi colega, la concejal Evans, por lo que hacen, por lo que sirven a la comunidad, como tantas mujeres en nuestra comunidad, y por también desafiarnos a que nosotros el próximo año hagamos lo mismo y reconozcamos a las mujeres que están haciendo tanto. El 25 de marzo va a haber una feria de salud. La Coalición de Justicia para la Comunidad de Madera aún busca a personas que quieran ser voluntarias y tienen hasta el 23 de marzo para inscribirse. Si están interesados, por favor, comuníquense con Mónica de Horta al 661-1879. Gracias. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Villegas.
Yes, I just want to congratulate all those ladies that were recognized today with the awards. for the great job they do in the community. And also, I wanted to say something. On March 22nd, Esperanza ribbon cutting, I will not be able to attend due to I have to a doctor appointment in Fresno, and they're gonna give me some kind of strong medication. So the recommendation is that I'm not gonna be able to drive for that day. So I will not attend the celebration ribbon cutting. And I just wanted to say the happy St. Patrick's Day. Go green, and thank you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you very much. We received an invitation from the Migrant Education Program Coordinator, Blanca Bishop at Madeira Unified School District. They will be having an event in honor of Cesar Chavez. This event will be held at Madeira High School on Thursday, March 31st. And the reason is to encourage folks to provide service to their communities, and then also get educational opportunities and resources from our community. And so they're inviting all of us to go if you're able to attend. On this, and again, this is on March 31st at Madeira High. I also want to mention the thing about.
What time is that event?
Excuse me?
What time?
On the 31st, what time is the event?
The time is 4 to 6:30. No, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, yes. The setup is at 3 to 4, and then the event begins at 4 and ends at 6:30 p.m.
All right.
And the exact location is going to be sent to us. As of right now, they only have that it's going to be at Madeira High. Second thing, regarding the PG&E, I'm not sure if members of the public know that we are needing more resources from PG&E for our homes and our businesses in the city of Madeira. And we took that opportunity when the PUC, the commissioners, the Board of Commissioners was having open forums to have people chime in on their issues in their local communities. And I want to thank Arnoldo Rodriguez, our city manager, for giving us talking points when we were in Zoom or on the phone with them to discuss our issues that we have in Madeira. Believe it or not, we're highly lacking in electricity in the city of Madeira, and it's impacting the way we do business or not do business, because some businesses might not be able to access the amount of electricity that they need to do business. So we took that opportunity, and they certainly listened to the point that they've developed a task force to address these issues. So thank you to my colleagues for participating, because they heard you loud and clear. I need to go back, I believe, to the discussions on cannabis. I moved on from that after, and I think we need to go back. I only want to bring that up to see if anyone of my colleagues besides Mr. Rodriguez wanted to ask a question. Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Garcia. As a matter of fact, if you haven't closed item F, I did want to make one last comment. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. And I want to ask my colleagues also if they want to chime in.
I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the women here today, and I'm sorry. There's a lot going on, and sometimes I do forget, but I do want to acknowledge my colleagues here that sit on the dais here. Also in the chambers, I want to acknowledge the women that are out here in the audience. And I also want to acknowledge our city attorney that through her hard work has kept this city out of trouble. And I want to thank her for that. I also would be remiss if I did not recognize my wife and my daughter. So again, a happy Women's Month. And again, my apologies for not acknowledging that earlier, but thank you for everything that you do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I wanted to reopen item E1, the cannabis update. I believe Mr. Rodriguez was the only one that was able to comment. So I want to give an opportunity to anyone else on the dais if they wanted to comment on item E1, the cannabis update, or ask any questions of Mr. Rodriguez. I see no hand raised. So again, we will close item E1. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. There are no closed session items to be discussed. We will be adjourning this meeting. The meeting is adjourned at 7:25. Our upcoming meeting date will be April the 6th on 2022. Thank you very much and have a good evening.
Good night, Mr. Mayor, and good night, everyone.